about the game, we'll get some questions.
Yeah, I'd first like to start with a big thank you to Coach Lawson and Duke University and Duke Women's Basketball specifically to host us, because this is really important as we grow towards our goal of the gold medal in Paris. And you know, if you look at Duke's schedule that they have coming up this week, you know, to fit us in, hopefully our game will prove to be maybe some lessons learned for them that helps on their journey this season. But I just can't say enough how much we appreciate they opened their home to us to have us here. As far as the game itself, the game went exactly like we thought it would in terms of the difficulty that Duke poses, and they imposed their will defensively, as you all know. You know, last season's team was ranked really high defensively. I think #2 in the country, if I'm not mistaken, defensively, and they certainly that will continue to be a big part of their identity. They are absolutely relentless on the offensive glass, and those two things give you a chance to win every basketball game. And I think that you know, the energy and effort that they put forth each time I've seen them play this season, including in person today, as I told each of them, I'm impressed, and I think they have a chance to do special things.
Hi, Coach. As you prepare for Paris 2024 with training camp just beginning, how would you describe the energy of this team, and how have they been able to effectively work together following the recent WNBA season?
Yeah, we really started this process February. We were still coming out of COVID, and that was our first time together in Olympic qualifying tournament that we actually hosted in Washington, D.C. That was our first time. Matter of fact, Alicia Gray, it was really impactful in that go around with the team. And I'd say each time that we've been together since, we've built towards an identity, and the identity we saw in Sydney at the World Cup with the players that were there. You know, we're like Duke. We value the defense. I think you saw both teams really put forth trying to make things difficult for the opponent, whether it's catches, whether it's on drives and early help, and just play with physicality and fight the post. We were pretty undersized today, and I thought you know, we did a pretty decent job of trying to limit the catches. And so I think, you know, each step that we're on, we're just continuing to build chemistry and identity. We rarely have maybe what will be the final 12 all together for a variety of reasons. But each time that we're together, it's helpful to see different combinations of players, different skill sets of players. Now, this is a difficult task for the selection committee because there's a lot of good players in our league, and there's a variety of reasons why you'd want each of them to be on the team. But there'll be just 12, and these types of events that we do together, the training that we've done for the last 12 days, it all goes a long, long way towards our ultimate goal.
I know Coach Lawson was on your staff last year. You guys seem to have a good relationship. You know, what makes her special as a coach and just as an ambassador for the game as a whole?
Yeah, I mean, Kara, what just oozes off of her is just a love for the game. You know, certainly Kara, the person that she is, I think that's, you know, the epitome of USA Basketball. That if you look at the group that we've had and why there's sustained success through a lot of years and a lot of consecutive gold medals, that sort of thing. The core of that is the type of people that you involve in USA Basketball. Kara epitomizes that. Kara just she's a junkie. We call her, she's a basketball junkie. I mean, she just, you know, I loved our time together where we just, you know, exchanged ideas and, you know, that sort of thing. And you know, she was impactful for our staff for sure.
Kate, you referenced the final 12. Given where we are now, this isn't too much of a sidebar, but have you been in communications with Chelsea Gray about her injury recovery and her willingness to be available for next year or anything like that?
Yeah, I have not. I congratulated Chelsea on the news that she was starting her family. Obviously, they just won a championship, but we have not had any in-depth conversations about where she is physically.
When do you expect to finalize the roster?
You know, that's above my pay grade. I think, you know, what I've known in the past is that we'll be into the WNBA season before there's a final decision. How far in advance of Paris? You know, I'm sure there's some timelines that we have to follow, but we'll take as long as necessary.
After after the two scrimmages, what would you say has been like the biggest takeaway, evaluating your team from these two games today and the one in Tennessee?
Well, I thought, if you ask both teams, I think that, again, defensively, I thought that we were difficult to play against. I think we play in transition well. That's a huge part of what we want to do, the easier offense. I think that we have both the ability to penetrate as well as shoot. I thought our spacing today was not as good as it was maybe against Tennessee, but overall, we've got a variety of skill sets that you can utilize. The shooting, I've enjoyed, someone like Copper having a good game today. Ryan Howard is just, somebody you really got to get out there and guard. And really each player, obviously, I haven't mentioned, someone like Diana Taurasi, Sabrina. We have a lot of good skilled players, and we also have the athleticism to go with that I think poses challenges for teams.
Yeah, right here.
I've been talking to a lot of young fans, especially young girls who play basketball, who travel from across the state to see you guys play. What does that aspect of these exhibition games mean to you?
Well, obviously the coach and me, you focus on training, but then when you think about the impact that we're having in being in this community and like you said, around the state, these are the interactions that if you ask our players, I always go back to Maya Moore telling the story when she was 8 years old and having a chance to go see an all-star game, and all it takes is one player to connect with one young kid that changes their perspective, whether it's a little girl, little boy, it's just incredibly meaningful in terms of what they got to see today, to see Duke players, and hopefully now come back and these young kids when they go back home, hopefully they're emulating. Whether it's the USA basketball players or whether it's Duke players, but it's how you grow the game, and so I'm glad to hear that there were people that made the investment to take the time to do that.
Right here.
You talked about trying to working on an identity for this team. What identity would you like for this team, and how do you want it to differ from the previous championship team?
Well, that's tough. So like the Tokyo Gold, because they were pretty good. So I don't want to deviate too far. A lot of those obviously really good players that were on that team, whether it was BG or Stewie or Asia Wilson. Some of the players we had in the World Cup, same thing. Sue and Diana, and with Chelsea Gray coming in behind them. That was a really good team. Right, and you kind of go back each of those teams and you go, my goodness, that was their second team, and so we probably have that a little bit. So just identity-wise, we've talked about a little bit here today. Just defensively, we're gonna hang our hat there. That's going to be something that I want to make sure that we are able to utilize our depth. That'll be a high priority for us. I don't want to be a team that gasses their starters, and it's not necessary. We've got a lot of talent, and so figuring out the best combinations of players offensively, I think like everyone wants to do, you want to be able to spread the floor. We're going to have really strong post play. That's an advantage for the USA as you look around, in other countries. Look at our post play. I mean, it's been pretty dominant. So I want to make sure that we stay true to that and not get too lost in the positionless aspect of it when that's still a strength of ours.
Yeah, right here.
Did you plan on just playing Brittany for a few minutes today, or did something happen to her at the beginning?
We had intended to limit minutes, and from the outset, we were going to see how she was going to feel, and certainly not put her in a position. She was with us from the beginning of the training camp, and as the days wore on, she started to, it started to feel like we shouldn't push it, and so we just want to make sure we took care of her. She came out of it okay. And she was pretty good in the couple minutes she was out there.
Thanks, everyone. Appreciate it.
Thank you.